Have you ever found yourself interested in someone who sees you as a friend? It's tough when you have feelings for someone only to find out that they don't feel the same way about you. You're not alone. In a recent study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships in 2019, over 80% of people experienced unrequited romantic feelings at some point in their lives. Many have been in your shoes and know just how difficult it can be to have strong but one-sided emotions for someone. It's easy to feel discouraged and want to give up altogether. However, don't lose hope just yet. With the right approach, it's possible to turn things around and go from being just friends to being in a romantic relationship. Let's explore some practical steps you can take to make this happen. See if it can turn things around for you. Step 1, communicate your feelings clearly. Transitioning from the friend zone to a romantic relationship can be challenging, but communication is key. Psychologist Dr. John Gottman emphasizes the importance of clear and open communication as the foundation for successful relationships. When expressing your feelings to someone, it's essential to choose your words carefully and be considerate of their feelings. Using I statements can help avoid accusations or ultimatums and create a safe and respectful space for the conversation. For instance, instead of saying, "You never see me as anything more than a friend," try saying, "I feel like there's something more between us and I'd like to explore that." Remember, it's important to be prepared for any response the other person may have. They may or may not feel the same way about pursuing a romantic relationship with you, or they may prefer to remain friends. Whatever their response, it's vital to respect their feelings and not push them beyond their comfort zone. 2, show your intentions through actions. Biological anthropologist and relationship expert Dr. Helen Fisher emphasizes the importance of actions in building a successful romantic relationship. According to her research, certain behaviors such as eye contact, touch, and proximity are powerful signals of romantic interest that the brain is wired to respond to. Thus, expressing your intentions through actions is a meaningful way to convey your feelings and transition from being stuck in a friend zone to in a relationship. Consistency and reliability in your actions demonstrate that you're committed to building a healthy and lasting relationship with the other person. Make a genuine effort to plan dates and spend quality time together. And always follow through on your commitments. By doing so, you're showing that you're a trustworthy partner who values the relationship, wants to build a strong foundation. However, it's crucial to respect the other person's boundaries and comfort level when it comes to physical intimacy. It's important not to pressure them to engage in anything that they're not comfortable with. Always be considerate of their feelings. If they do express interest in physical affection, it may be a positive indication that they're open to exploring a romantic relationship with you. 3, give them space to decide. Clinical psychologist and expert in attachment theory, Sue Johnson, emphasizes the importance of respecting the other person's autonomy and emotional needs in building healthy relationships. In her book, Hold Me Tight, 7 Conversations for a Lifetime of Love, Dr. Johnson highlights the importance of emotional openness, ability, trust, and fostering emotional closeness between partners. She believes that emotional closeness is the foundation of healthy relationships, and that it requires both partners to be willing to be vulnerable, open with one another. When it comes to transitioning from a zone to a romantic relationship, it's important to give the other person space and time to make their own decisions. Dr. Johnson advises against pressuring or manipulating the other person into feeling a certain way. Instead, respect their feelings and allow them the time they need to process their emotions and make their own decision. If they do decide to pursue a romantic relationship with you, that's great. However, if not, it's important to accept their decision and move forward while still cherishing their friendship. With the right approach, it's possible to shift things and turn your friendship into a romantic relationship. It may not be easy, but it's definitely worth exploring if you feel there is potential for something more. It's important to remember to take things slowly, respect the other person's boundaries, and give them the space and time they need to process their own feelings. We hope you found these tips useful. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please feel free to leave a comment below and share your experiences or any additional tips you might have. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with anyone you know who might also benefit from this information. Your support helps us to continue creating helpful content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon with more helpful tips and advice. First off, we'd like to give a huge thanks for all the support that you give us. Now, let's begin. Many of you have heard of post-traumatic stress disorder, but have you heard of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or C-PTSD? It's a subset of PTSD, and it has been a hot topic among mental health professionals because of its striking similarities to traditional PTSD and other mental health diagnoses. These similarities make researchers wonder if C-PTSD should be its own type of PTSD, or if it's more closely related to other psychiatric disorders. Before we begin, we would like to clarify that any information provided here is for educational purposes only. Please do not use this video to self-diagnose or diagnose others. If you need mental health counseling or treatment, please reach out to a mental health professional. With that being said, 11 signs of C-PTSD. Number 1, physical symptoms. With C-PTSD, you may re-experience the trauma through nightmares and emotional flashbacks, or remember the trauma in an intrusive and disruptive manner. This may lead to hypervigilance, irritability, problems with sleeping or concentrating. You may also find yourself avoiding people, events, or activities that may be triggering. 2, feelings of worthlessness or hopelessness. Do you sometimes think that you're not good enough? Although these thoughts may be mistaken for depression, feelings of worthlessness or hopelessness are prominent features of both PTSD and C-PTSD. Experts believe that feelings are made worse by self-talk surrounding your reaction to triggers and to relationship difficulties. 3, you feel isolated from others. You often feel as though no one else understands you. Feelings of isolation or alienation are the result of several aspects of PTSD and C-PTSD. The feeling of being misunderstood may be amplified by guilt or shame surrounding your trauma and the need to avoid potential triggers. Number 4, disruption in different areas of your life. Part of PTSD and C-PTSD is experiencing strong emotional flashbacks and anxiety. So you may be going out of your way to avoid being triggered, which can lead to issues with regulating your emotions, relating to others, as well as being more vulnerable to substance abuse. It may also affect your sleep or your behavior at work and school. Number 5, depression and anxiety. Have you felt miserable for a long period of time? Do you experience constant tense periods of stress? A study by Gilbar had noted a strong relationship between the symptoms of PTSD and C-PTSD with depression and anxiety. Number 6, you're overly suspicious of others. Do you sometimes seem a little reserved or standoffish with others? The ongoing and highly personal nature of your trauma may change the way you see the world. You may be less trusting of others, deflect or avoid questions, or get defensive when someone talks or asks about you. Number 7, you appear unpredictable or emotional. A feature of C-PTSD is experiencing difficulties controlling your emotions. Your feelings may suddenly change out of the blue or may become more intense. You may find yourself crying easily or getting disproportionately angry at someone or at a situation. 8, you aren't much of a joiner. Most people struggling from some form of PTSD structure their lives around not being triggered. Part of avoiding triggers might mean avoiding noisy or crowded environments, or avoiding certain people who may bring up painful memories. This may lead to you appearing more reserved and withdrawn. 9, you always expect the worst. Do you always think you're going to fail your next test or quiz? Maybe you're quietly expecting your relationship to fail or that you'll lose your job. Since people with C-PTSD have dealt with so much trauma, they may be constantly expecting things to take a turn for the worse. Number 10, you have a hard time trusting others. You constantly have to double check if the person you're meeting will show up or be on time. No matter what they say, you can't help but question their motives and actions. The trauma experienced by people with C-PTSD may lead to the need to constantly question themselves, others, and their environments. It can be difficult to understand that they're not living in the trauma anymore. And number 11, you feel like no one understands you. If you're living with C-PTSD, you may come to the realization that not everyone has gone through what you have. Maybe you've had a bad experience telling people, or you aren't ready to talk about your experience. It can be very uncomfortable to explain or describe how you feel when the other person hasn't gone through anything similar to what you have. Have you struggled with trauma, PTSD, or C-PTSD? Tell us about it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with others who may find it helpful too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.